sustainable development, because what we have experienced over the last 10 years, at least the last decade, we have all understood that the global, the societal challenges are becoming more and more complex. And these challenges, as we have seen over the last year, 1 year, are also becoming unpredictable sometimes. So we need to open up a little bit the mind of our engineering students and understanding how technologies, how innovation can be grounded into the societal challenges. And one of the best ways to do that is to follow the Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, as you are doing, dear students. So we have launched 1 year ago this course, which is called Passion in Action. What does it mean? It means that we aim, and I think we all share the same passion for sustainable development at different level. You as a student, our as a high school students, our master's thesis students like master's thesis students, our PhD as PhD, and we as professor also as researcher, and the policymaker should also follow the same passion for sustainable development. But action, what does it mean, action? It means that this course is not designed as a kind of, let's say, standard teaching course in which, you know, you have a professor is teaching, the students are listening, and then that's done, we do the exam. But in this course, the students has taken part to the, not only to the learning process, but also to the teaching process. So our master thesis students have prepared some presentation for, let's say, going to the school, to the high school, and sharing, discussing with high school students their perspective on sustainable development. And this is known to be a kind of a peer education system, which I strongly believe is very effective. And so we will see after the lesson of today if you appreciate our students, let's say, discussing with you the themes of sustainable development. So let me just open up the floor and giving the floor to the students, which are now teachers in this course. So it's kind of reverse situation. Let me thank also Adi and John Law and ISNAD-Africa for allowing us to extend the geographical scope of our initiatives that at the beginning was told to be in Italy, but then after discussing with Adi, we open up this, you know, Italian-African potentiality and cooperation. And I really hope this is only the seed of something that can grow up in the future. And I also really would like to thank the students that really have experienced, I think, a nice opportunity, but they have put their competence, their mind, and I would also say their heart into this project. So thank you very much. So the floor now is Zuma.
Okay.
Maybe Zuma, you can introduce yourself. One second.
Okay, yes. Can you hear me? Yes. So let me share my screen first. Then you can see me, right? Okay, super. Okay, thank you, Professor Calambro, Francesco, Ade. Thank you, all you guys. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. My name is Sulma Betancourt. Right now, I'm a master's student at Politecnico. So today, from Colombia, yeah, but I have a slide for that. So hello again. Today, my colleagues and I, within the framework of passion for sustainable development, are going to talk about sustainable development goals. So first, we want to show you a bit about us. So we were also young students as you until recently. Let's add recently. Here you can say our faces. I mean, we are like from India is Kartikuma, the escape speed. From Bolivia is the smiling cat fanatic Hugo, and myself, I'm a smiling coffee expert from Colombia. But at the time that we were students, maybe they haven't got all the possibilities to speak openly about the problems. I mean, the huge problems of the world. So we hope you find this opportunity as an opportunity to discuss this. So first, let's begin with the question for you to reflect a bit. What are the problems of today's world that come to your mind? What do you think that are the biggest problems now? So let's think a bit about it. And in the meantime, I would like to show you a video listing the SDGs very briefly. Maybe you know them, maybe you heard about them. There are 17 and they cover topics from economic, social and environmental development. So please work with me now. It's not reproducing. Just wait a moment, please. Let's see that technology helps us a bit. Oops. Okay, I think now you can see it.
If you want to, you can stay in the desk and put out your mask.
Oh.
In the meanwhile,
Okay.
if you prefer, what do you think?
No, I
Se
think
vuole
it's
togliere
okay.
la mascherina e stare alla cattedra.
I think it's okay. Yes. Can you hear me? I mean. Okay, but there, yeah. No, I think for now we can. But this one is okay. Let's wait a minute in the meantime. Okay. Okay, seeing the video about the 17 SDGs, so I'm gonna put my mask for now. So as I was saying, is they talk about economic development, human development, and environmental development, of course. And finish. So while you're thinking about the question I asked you at the beginning. As you see, there are really, I mean, about all the topics, or environment, cities, poverty, of course. So let's see if I can. Okay, now, wait a minute, I'm sorry. So here in this map, we see the distribution of what is often conceived as a first problem, the poverty. Resolution of the conditions of absolute poverty is just one of the battles of today and from which all countries have also passed. However, the road is no easy. I'm sorry, I can change the slide. Something is happening, I'm sorry. Are you still able to see my screen?
No, Zulma. We can't see your screen.
And you see my screen right now? I'm sorry. This is Morphe working on. Don't you listen? Yeah, yes, I'm sorry. This closed a moment. I think it was the video. It was too heavy. No, I'm sorry guys. I'm just working on this presentation again because it's closed.
Some of them as the mask and some. Yeah. Which country? Okay, this is Nigeria. This is Nigeria. So it's the same country? Yeah, the three times Nigeria. This is in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, hi guys. Sorry for the delay. There is a technical problem that they are trying to address. And in the meanwhile, I think that Kabir, Creative Planet, you're doing well. I think you can stay behind them, it's fine. You can show in the video, it's no problem. The other colleagues, I think it will be good if you can share your video as well so that we can see you. If you can, please share a video, Imagine Scholar, and Strong Tower, I think they're already sharing this, the video, and then Nakuru Descro. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
And keep ruminating about the problems she was sharing. What do you think is the challenge of the world today? What are the problems that we are trying to address in the world today? Particularly, you can look at it in the context of the problem you are trying to address. You know, and yeah. So shortly later on, you can be discussing within yourself some of your thoughts. Later on, she's going to ask you to share your thoughts about the problems that we're facing in the world today. Okay? Okay, are we good? Great. So she will take over.
Adam, sorry guys for this interruption. Can you confirm you're hearing me well? Yeah, okay, super. So as I was saying, the road is not easy, and we can say that absolute poverty is only the background of much more complex scenario. It's not just a question of money. So other problems that we have to face are given by children defense, climate change, inequalities in access to resources, and social and economic inequalities. So who took care of them in the past and how? So let's see a brief look to the history. So the first commitment of cooperation between countries is represented by the League of Nations until the Second World War. By the 1945, the world had to deal with entire countries and continents that had need to be rebuilt. So in this scenario, 15 nations signed the Charter of the United Nations, which represent the birth of the UN. So during these years, the Cold War, the UN managed to carry on the international dialogue and avoid the breakout of another world conflict, guaranteeing at the same time the economic development and the recovery of during the second post-war period. After that, in 1955, the creation of the non-aligned movement, detaching from Eurocentric political paradigm, emerged. This movement includes countries like Egypt, Yugoslavia, India. In the meanwhile, within 1957, in 1992, will be born what we now know as the European Union. During the new millennium, a new sensibility takes place. It is established that international cooperation should not be focused only on economic development, but should take into account also human development and environmental sustainability. So during the Kyoto and Rio conferences, the countries realized that in the next agendas, they will have to deal with climate change. An important data that we want to recall is given by the 2015 when two very important conferences were held. The first was the COP21, also known as Paris Agreement, and which forced the signatory nations to adopt policies to maintain the global temperature rise below 2 Celsius degrees within the 2100, sorry. So the second conference held in the 2015 was the New York Summit, during which the Agenda 2030 was ratified. So the 2030 Agenda is not the first attempt of the United Nations to set clear goals. In the 2000s, the UN set the 8 MDGs, which stands for Millennium Development Goals, which had held the aim to help the undeveloped countries. These goals then have been multiplied and amplified, and specified in the new agenda, which involves the nations and not only developing countries. An important thing to analyze is the logo of the SDGs. We notice that the symbols of the SDGs are positioned along the circumference, so they are all characterized by the same distance from the center. Moreover, all the symbols have the same dimension. These two characteristics stress out that all the SDGs are equally important and they are all connected to each other. So, The 17 SDGs can be divided into two large dimensions that represent the needs for the present that will allow to meet the needs of the future. We talk about human, economic, and environmental development here as resources. But now, today, we're going to see them in the, we're going to present you these four dimensions to stress the importance of the work together. So let's start with these two SDGs. So number 16. So collaboration is very important to reach the goals. Goals 16 and 17 focus on peace, institutions, and partnerships. In particular, SDG 16 promotes the creation of peaceful and inclusive societies, with institutions able to administer countries and in which access to justice is guaranteed to all. So these are all characteristics that are fundamental to create an environment in order to promote the sustainable development. So here you can see, maybe you can see a map which represent all the conflicts that are now in the world. This can be conflicts between the states, terrorist events, civil wars. There are a lot, and there might never be heard, or maybe we have experienced at some point. So yes, they still exist, and it might be go on for years. But even if it's an international law that protects civilians during the armed conflicts, every day roughly 100 civilians in the world are killed by heavy weapons. Among these, 1 in 8 are women and children. So even there, we have a huge challenge within this first SDG that we are seeing. So let's move to the next one, 17. As we have seen the importance of the concept of peace and justice in today's reality, now let's focus on the concept of partnership, dealt with this new SDG 17. Sustainable development goals can only be achieved with a strong commitment to partnership and global cooperation. But what does this mean? The renewed global partnership involves the sharing between the states and communities of a common vision of sustainable development and a firm commitment to provide the technological and financial means to make this vision a reality. But for example, let's look at the situation of the world about communication. About 5% of the population has no phone signal, and about 4 million people in the world don't use internet. In a world where technology is key, it's therefore important that developed and developing countries work together to ensure that all people are offered equal opportunities. How is this possible? Help developing countries. One way is to give financial resources. For example, by 2019, the OECD members raised around $147 billion in the form of official development assistance and developed these funds to the poorest countries. Although we might note that money is not the only solution, and knowledge is also a powerful tool to help and encourage development between nations. So now let's move to the second dimension. Let's see a bit of human development with Hugo, and let's talk about SDG number 2. So, yes.
Hi everybody, can you listen to me? So, hello, I am Hugo. So I am the cat fanatic from Bolivia. And okay, so I'm totally obsessed with food. Okay, can we start with the slide number 2, the SDG number 2? Thank you. So I'm totally obsessed with food, guys. But I didn't start to get obsessed with food until I found out about sustainability. And I realized that when I'm hungry, and I'm really pissed off, and I'm assuming that the rest of the world is too. So let me take you through the SDG number 2, which is zero hunger. Now, zero hunger is a global pandemic. Dadaab, the largest refugee camp in the world in 2016, where nearly 600 people lived, was a place where children would suffer from acute malnutrition and high food insecurity. That is the image that many people have when we talk about global hunger. But hunger is not only in refugee camps. Hunger is a global epidemic affecting communities in Africa, Asia, and even in the developed world. The UN estimates that around 821 million people were undernourished in 2017. That is 1 person every 11 people in the planet, and the number keeps growing. And 18 of those people lives in cities in North America, Europe, and Australia. So when most people talk about global hunger, they think that the problem is that there isn't enough food in the world, but the problem isn't the lack of food. The absurd is that there is actually enough food in the world to feed the entire population. Hunger is a problem, and the problem is not the lack of food. Hunger is a logistics problem. It's a problem to get the food to those who need it most. Hunger is a problem that affects all aspects of the supply chain, and it includes elements such as storage, transportation, packaging, international shipping, and road networks and customs clearance. It is estimated that 1/3 of the food produced in the whole world is wasted, and in some developed countries, the number increases up to 40%. So where the food rots? Some of it rots in warehouses, awaiting transportations to the market, while some of it rots in ports and border crossing, awaiting customs clearance. 142,000 tons of food waste is expected as a result of Brexit border disruption. And some of the food rots also in the field where farmers think that's not economically worth it for them to harvest it. On many occasions, farmers in developing countries cannot access to their markets to sell their food. And the irony is that they actually need that extra income to cover their life's expenditures. So UN estimates that 2/3 of extreme poor employed workers in the world are agricultural workers. And this is not only in the hands of government or developing countries. The Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that 55% of the food waste in Italy comes from homes. It is insane. 13 billion euros of food waste per year. Now, let me tell you a story. Europeans have small fridges, at least smaller than the United States ones. Those are huge. But here, it is still very easy to buy more food that we cannot eat or even find. And I mean, I have things back in my freezer that's been there for years. So what happens is that we waste more food. So who likes vegetables here? I'm not sure you are fans of vegetables. Okay, I am actually. But you know that lettuces, right? Lettuces, they have this habit of getting soggy, soggy lettuces, right? So in the UK, United Kingdom, that was such a problem that years ago there was a government report that actually said that the second biggest offender of wasted food in UK was the soggy lettuce. It was called the soggy lettuce report. So if we stop food waste by 50% globally, it would be like having all cars in Europe stopped for an entire year. This is a problem, guys, because when we waste that poor little lettuce, not only we waste the impact of the wasted food, we don't only have the impact of wasted food, but we actually had to grow that poor little lettuce. And the life cycle impact of that vegetable is astronomical. Plants, seeds, nutrients, water, all the embodied impacts of the lettuce are just lost, thrown to the bin, which makes it a far environmental impact way worse than the loss of energy from a fridge, for instance. Now, we have millions of people that cannot feed themselves. And with tons of money donated to food security, we should have solved hunger years ago. Now, I shared with you the European perspective that I get to live also as an international student living here. I shared with you the fact that if we live in countries where perfectly food is going to waste while our neighbors don't have food to eat, then we need to change the laws. Most importantly, we need to change our minds and our actions. 2016, France became the first country to ban throwing away unused food. They must donate it, and they are fined if they don't. In 2017, Italy joined to pass a law that encouraged firms to donate food. It might not be enough, but it's a start. So guys, Now, we might have different problems, but we all share one goal, same goal, but different actions, as a professor of mine used to say. What will be the actions that you have to take in the place where you live? The UN goal seeks to end hunger, which is a huge purpose. But the reality is that if only someone like you cares, then nothing would change. I think by making changes in our own lives, we can achieve zero hunger in our lifetimes. So guys, make every day count for the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
Thank you. What did you hear now? I can see you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me now. Okay, I think you can hear me now, right? Yeah, okay.
So the audio will be completed.
The audio? Why? Okay, no, because maybe we have echo. So, okay, thank you, Hugo. Now let's turn to the economic development with Kartik Kumar and the SDG number 10. So, okay. Kartik Kumar,
hello,
are you there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, I think it is.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. I am Kartik Kumar. I am the aerospace engineer at Escape Speed that you might have seen in the introduction slides. Now, I'll be presenting the importance of goal number 10, which seeks to reduce inequalities. The goal of this program is to reduce the inequalities, not just within countries, but also between different countries. Inequalities and social diversity lead to more and more crimes, diseases, and environmental degradation. Just think of how social disparities among communities of the same country can lead to a lot of segregation, which can inevitably lead to inhuman living conditions. Favoring the development and rapid spread of diseases such as the current pandemic that we have right now. Global inequality affects all of us, not just you or me or somebody that we might know. It affects all of us. I will be explaining the categories of inequalities, which basically include but not limited to age, discrimination based on age, discrimination based on disability, inequalities based on gender, religions, ethnicities, and races, inequalities based on economic class and income, inequalities based on social class, and inequalities based on sexual orientation. Now, just to give you a perspective of how this works in a broader spectrum of things, every 5 seconds in the world, a child dies somewhere in the world. Now, if you pause 5 seconds, at the end of this presentation, there will be a lot of children who are dead just because of the discrimination and inequalities they have faced. Now, these deaths are not just due to diseases and the conditions that they live in. It is also because it is completely inaccessible for them to actually have practical health care that has to be given to everybody, which can be provided by solving or reducing inequalities. Now, disabled people are the largest minority in the world and must receive more protection. In particular, women and girls with disabilities unfortunately represent double discrimination because they belong to the disabled class. They also belong to gender-based inequality. Now, this is a data that must make us reflect and that must lead to a more careful consideration of categories of inequalities that suffer and that experience discrimination against individuals of societies, regardless of race, color, ethnicities, gender, age, and everything. Now let's dive into the details of just 3 categories. Number one is basically economic inequality, or basically wealth-based inequality. If you see, 46% of the world population, that is around 4 billion people, live under $5.5 per day. To give you a perspective, one bottle of milk costs around $1 per day, which means 50% of all the world population can only buy maybe 5 bottles of milk. Speaking of Africa alone, more than 50% of entirety of Africa's wealth is contained by just richest 1% of people. And this is the inequality that inevitably leads to drastic differences in people's quality of life, with some of the consequences mentioned above, like sanitary diseases, inaccessibility to healthcare, and crime rates. Another inequality that I would like to shed light on is the ethnicity-based inequalities and discrimination. If you look at the recent events in Europe and in the United States of America, the Black Lives Matter movement is on the rise. This is not just because they came across one death and they wanted to protest against it. It is against an established institution of discrimination and inequality in a huge nation. 22% of people who say they are discriminated either belong to a migrant background or to an ethnic origin that is completely different from the ethnic origin of the place that they live in. The third class of inequalities that I would like to define here is basically gender and sexuality based inequalities, which you as students might be very, very new to, but you have to learn it. So basically, the gender and sexuality based inequalities do not just rise from being a man or being a woman, but also extends to other communities such as LGBTQI, where people are being discriminated, not given chances and rights just because of who they are, just because of their gender and sexualities. Now, the importance of SDG 10, reducing inequalities, is to have a goal to actually act on these inequalities and to reduce them as much as possible, because we cannot live in an ideal world without all of these inequalities, but we can actually act on reducing them as much as possible. Over to my colleague Zulma. Thank you.
I always forgot to wait a minute. ¿Me puedes escuchar? No. Can you hear me? No. Something is happening with my microphone. Sorry very much. Sorry with you guys. So thank you, Karti Kumar, for this presentation. So well, we have another complete dimension, that is the resources, the environmental dimension. But I think that for now, the most important thing is to go with you guys. I'm sorry. And see, just a minute, please. Okay, now it is again shutting down. What happened? Okay, to see what you guys have been doing, because we've been told that you are like working, with some projects. So we are really interested in your opinion. What are your thoughts about this that we are presenting to you, these development goals? What do you think? I mean, if this impact your lives, of you are making some actions to tackling this in your daily lives, or what do you think that you haven't worked enough, or you need to put more effort on? So now the floor is open for you guys to tell us a bit. I don't know, Adem, how you want to handle this.
Yeah, hello guys. Come on, don't be shy, please. We heard that you are amazing and you're doing beautiful projects. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for us, for you to present a little about it to us. I'm pretty sure you are experts in this manner. So please don't be shy.
So I think Mr. Vines is likely ready. I can I hold up teams of different teams. So, and who comes first to share about the project?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Hi.
ISNAD-Africa.
Hello.
Good afternoon, ISNAD-Africa and
Hello.
other schools around the world.
Can you because I can
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can
Afternoon.
hear you perfectly.
Good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone, and other schools around the world. This is Fruit Vines team. We are Fruit Vines from Fruit Vines Akobo, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. And here is my team. Our team.
That's an impressive team. Hello, guys.
This is Glory, our team leader. Fatima, our accountant. Peace, our researcher. Hello. Patrick, our artist. Favor and Treasure, our modeling. And we have Esther and Etayo, our farmers. And I am Debbie, the co-artist. So our project is an irrigation, using of PET bottles to build an irrigation system, and also the use of PET bottles to build a farm, to be a barn. I would first of all like to say acknowledgement to ISNAD-Africa for giving us students, we young minds, the opportunity to participate in this environmental education program, and also National Association for Environmental Education and Wells Fargo, USA. Also, officials from Polytechnic University of Milan. I would like to say a big thank you. So I'll pass over.
Thank you, actually. It's really a pleasure to meet you all, guys.
This project, it's a pleasure to meet you. This project was motivated due to insufficient rainfall. Some crops do not grow due to lack of or insufficient rainfall, such as vegetables. So that's why we are bringing in irrigation system in order to allow farmers to grow crops even when there is no rain. And irrigation is the artificial way of supplying water to farm crops for normal growth and development. This irrigation system it's been made with PET bottles. And storage system, the type of storage system we are going to be building is the barn. The barn is going to be used to store food crops. Irrigation and storage system, they work hand in hand. That is, they work together. So after planting irrigation, after planting through irrigation, you harvest your crops and store them in the barn. Another reason why the project was driven or was motivated is because of the climate change which has affected the pattern of rainfall. That is, there will be rainfall today. Instead of rainfall to be that we have a season of rainfall, but it will be fluctuating. Then we have wastage of agricultural produce during harvest season, and that's why we want to be building the barn in order to stop food crops to prevent wastage of food crops, increase in price of some agricultural produce, or even total absence of these crops during dry season, and environmental pollution. This environmental pollution, we're going to be picking PET bottles in our surrounding so as to reduce the environmental effect of PET bottles in our society. Thank you.
Thank you. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
I'm going to be talking about the project entirely, the activities of the project. First of all, we went around we sourced for PET bottles that have been causing an environmental menace to the community. So after picking the PET bottles, we went to a place to cut those bottles into different shapes so as to enable them to fit together to form a pipe irrigation network. So we left that alone. Then we moved to our farmland where we made our vegetable beds and planted some seeds on it. Thereafter, we put our irrigation network to distribute the water to the beds, individual beds. So after that, we moved to the preparation of the band project. First of all, we sand-filled bottles. We've sand-filled our bottles. So then we moved back during the execution of the irrigation project. We encountered some major problems, which is due to this slope of the irrigation network, and also with the dripping of the water, with the minor leakages we encountered with the pipe irrigation networks. So we converted those disadvantages to advantages for us. So we moved those bottles, those pipe networks. We moved the pipe networks onto the beds majorly so that the dripping can just fall on the plants itself. Thank you.
Thank you. That was pretty interesting, I have to say.
Good afternoon. We wish to share our screen. I wish to ask if you can allow us. We wish to share our screen.
Please, it would be a pleasure.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
We can ask other team to start while they're setting up. I don't know if that will. Continue.
We're having issues with sharing our screen, but I will now speak on the outcomes of these projects which we are participating in. Our team was able to achieve the following during the first phase of the project. We're able to clean up our communal environment through the removing of PET bottles and using them for the project. We were able to sand-fill most of
Oh boy, it was in the best part.
Okay, I think there is a network problem with Fukurai. Thus far, I think they have done beautifully well. So probably I'll proceed to Creative Planet. You can please discuss your projects, but try to be concise.
Sorry, we are having some technical issues.
Right? So
we are having some technical issues, so I would like to continue. as I was saying.
To go back to them.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I would like to continue now. We also faced some challenges during the course of the project. The bottles were not properly fitted because we used two different brands of bottles, Coke and Sprite, which the Coke was having some extra spaces, and this caused leakages in the interlocking of bottles. We also faced some problems with the flow of water due to the slope of the land. And after we discovered these problems, we consulted with our advisor, Ms. Mori, and resolved to make some amendments. After this project, we aim to give farmers a new way to acquire good harvest during the dry season without having to wait for rain, and to store their crops in order to prevent food wastage in the nearest future. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
So can we creative academy now?
Thank you.
Creative Planet, can you please unmute yourself and go ahead?
No question.
Good afternoon. Good day, University Polytechnic of Milani. Good afternoon, co-team members. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
My name is Bushra Abdul Aziz. We are the students of Creative Planet Academy, Kaduna, Nigeria. The problem we are facing is that waste is one of the major challenges and is a threat to our environment. Plastic waste constitutes about 60% of the waste, which are not degradable, which means the country will be overflooded eventually if nothing is done. So I and my team members came up with the idea or solution of recycling those waste into interlocking blocks for road pavements. Then we aim at reducing the plastic waste in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
So I would like to continue. Outcomes. We were able to gather and sort about 1.5 tons of plastics. We taught school students the morality of proper waste management. Then we ourselves understand the sorting techniques whereby we know the varieties of plastic we are having, such as the LDPE, LDPE, PET bottle, styrofoam, polystyrene, and so on. We partner with a recycling company in order to help us crush our plastic, which we find out that it won't melt until they are crushed. Thank you. We noticed that the plastic waste entirely is a threat to our community.
Can you take us through what? Can you take us through what you have done? Can you narrate what you have done on the project?
Yes, sir. We evacuated plastic from different communities, 3 different communities.
We were able to get 1.5 ton of waste. So we used over 160 kg of waste. We made 40 interlocks out of it.
Oh, do you have the interlocks there? So you have started making the interlocks?
Yes, I think an example of one. It was made of plastic.
Which is going to be used for building?
Yes,
road
paving.
improvements.
Yes, sir, and paving of roads. This is another.
So how strong about the strength of the interlocks? How sure was your confidence that the interlocks will be as good as what we have in cement blocks? Can you compare it?
Yeah, very durable.
Sir, it's durable and strong.
If you hit it on the floor now, it won't break. Even with the hammer, it will be very hard to break it.
It's durable, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is that fine?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Great. So that's really great. Is that all from you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. So we move to Nakuru. Are they around?
I think Strong Tower is indicating that they are ready to present.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Charles Kieri Mburu. I'm the principal of Nakuru Day. At the moment, we are on holiday. That's why you can see the background in the shop. I'm in my shop. Students are at home, but I have students who are within the meeting. So Nakuru Day is a day secondary school that was started in 1965. It's a mixed day school. So students to the school come from the slums around the school in Nakuru town. Nakuru is in Kenya, in Nakuru County. So our idea, our project is about biogas. And biogas as an alternative means of energy to conserve the environment. So I have students with me. Can see Ian is there. I would like Ian to say something about what they are doing as a team so that the panel can get to understand what our projects are about. So Ian, can you go on?
Thank you very much. Ian, can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself, Ian? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead now. You can speak.
Yes, the project idea is construction of biogas plant, which is used to produce methane, which can be used in place of fuel, food fuel, thus saving us from deforestation. Can you hear me?
Yes, but if you can move the screen away from your face so that we can see you.
Okay, is it much better?
It's okay, I think you can continue, don't worry.
Yes, the project idea is construction of biogas plant, which will help to counter the rate of deforestation, thus saving us from using wood fuel. The project plant produces methane, which would have otherwise been produced in the atmosphere, and it is used therefore to produce fuel, which will enable us to counter the rate of climate change. Can you get me?
Yes.
Yes, please go on.
So the reason behind the construction of biogas plant is the alarming rate of deforestation. So in order to counter the rate of cutting trees, the environmental club in our school saw it better utilizing the locally placed organic waste to produce methane gas, which shall be used in place of firewood. The plant is now ready for use, and it is being used in the kitchen to produce methane gas, which would have been otherwise released to the atmosphere causing climate change. This is a very useful idea because the methane that will have been released to the atmosphere and affecting climate change is now being used to produce fuel in kitchen, saving saving us from the destruction of ozone layer, which can allow the harmful UV light to penetrate into the earth. Thank you.
Very impressive. Thank you very much. That was really impressive.
So, what's the time? So what stage is your project now? Just one minute.
Yes.
Okay, maybe the principal can answer for you. I think there's a network problem there.
Okay, thank you, Ian.
Sir, what's the state of the project now? Just in 1 minute.
Okay, thank you so much. At the moment, the project has already been completed. We are actually using the biogas in the kitchen. And we really appreciate the support that we got from you and the whole organization. Because now we are able to use the waste from the animal shed, that's the cows, to produce energy within the school. At the moment, as we are talking, they are not using firewood now because the students are not there. They're using the biogas. When the students come back, because of the magnitude of the biogas required, we'll still be using partially the firewood and then the biogas. But by and by, we'll sell the idea to the school board of management. If they agree, we can build up a bigger biogas plant so that we can really stop the use of firewood. And again, it is also helping us because now the waste from the biogas plant is what we are going to use to put up a kitchen garden. And the kitchen garden now, this waste is already digested, it's ready fertilizer. So it's going to work to kill two birds with one stone. One, we are conserving the environment, and two, we are also producing fertilizer for use in our kitchen garden. So I think the idea also is that we sell the idea to the community. When the parents come during the parents' meeting, we'll be showcasing our project to them. Also, other schools, we can invite other science club organizations from other schools to visit our plant to benchmark with us, so that finally, if all the communities around us embrace the use of biogas, we'll have participated very well in environmental conservation. And we thank you for helping us start the campaign. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a quick question because we have lost. We need to get to the other teams. The animal waste you are using for this biogas production, where are you getting?
We have. Okay, thank you, sir. We have 15 cows by now within the school. So we are using the waste from the cows. That's the cow dung and whatever they are producing is.
So they have the cow, and they are using the cow dung. Generating waste and environmental problem in their school. They are converting that energy, biogas, which is used in cooking. And keep in mind that this is a secondary school where they cook, and then the residue from that whole process of energy, they also use it they are planning to use it to plant Thai garden. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much for this intervention. Also, I was remembering something. I saw kind of this in Colombia, one of farmer land we visit a long time ago, but it was not like thought for like huge production. It was just for that house, for the family. It was not thought like in a community, like for a school. I think it's super amazing that you are doing this and using this for a school because it's a large amount of energy that is, you're taking advantage of. So I think it's really inspiring Also, for example, with the bricks and the plastic reuse. I think I've seen this before in my home country, but in a smaller scale. So I think it's really nice to see it now at school stage. It's really inspiring. Thank you very much for sharing this.
Oh, thank you. So we're going to share with you the web links to all the reports where you see the pictures. Okay, so I think we can move to South Africa now. The Emerging Scholar team. Are you on video? Yeah, they're on video. So go ahead, but can you please help us manage time so that we're concise with time? Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so my name is Ndutugo. This is Olympia and Umi. And we are 3 students from Emerging Scholar and after school program that basically allows high school students to acquire extraordinary skills such as planning, relationship building, and like problem solving, which is what really inspired us to look at what we can do for our environment and start this project.
Emerging Scholar introduced us to the importance of saving and taking care of the environment, and we developed a passion of like taking care of the environment. So when we came across this opportunity from EEP, we thought it was a really good chance for us to put our passion into action and do a project that is environmentally friendly. Yeah, that's what like really inspired us to do this Spec Boom project.
Yeah. So as our project is called the Spec Boom project, so Spec Boom is a plant that can sequester carbon from the atmosphere. It's a plant which is really special and it's different from other plants because it can actually take more carbon from the atmosphere. So so for the past few weeks, we've been trying to propagate as many Spec Boom plants as we can. So after getting funds from the EEP, we started like planting plants, and our initial goal was to plant 300 to 400 plants, and so far we managed to plant 340 plants.
Yeah, and also an amazing opportunity that we got through the EEP process. We got to meet our advisor, Christine, who has been really helpful in like giving us new perspective in how we can approach advertising this project in our community and doing this project. But also her energy and excitement towards this project has really been our inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Ever since we got the fund, we started planting the Spec Boom plants in their pots, and we have started with distributing the plants in the community. And currently, we have distributed about 40 to 50 plants in our community, and we were able to communicate the importance of the plant in our community and how it's going to benefit each of our community members. Yeah. And we also recruited volunteers from Emerging Scholar to fasten the process of distributing the plant in the community.
And like on the part of like getting volunteers, we also got some other students from school who were really excited about our project, and they've also been helping us a lot. So after our distribution, we'll go house to house, like checking on how the plants are doing, and we'll also make phone calls with the community members who accepted our plants, like in order to keep in track if like the plants are growing well or if they are facing certain challenges. And after we're hoping to finish with our project on the 15th of May. Since like now it's a great time for us to do the distribution since it's our school break.
Yeah, so this is our project so far, and we're really grateful for this opportunity to be doing this project right now. So hopefully, you know about what we've been up to so far. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was very inspiring.
Are you okay? Okay, great. So thank you very much, the Spec Boom team, Emerging Scholar team. So I'll probably request Strong Tower in Nigeria to also present. Also, please help us present the main activity of your projects, the objective, the problem you're trying to solve, the objective, activity you have done, and what you hope to achieve. So in a very short time. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Emaskolade from Shantora Schools, Oshogo, Osun State, Nigeria. I would like to thank POLIMI-ISNAD-Africa for the opportunity to be a part of this project. Can you hear me? So here I would like to introduce my partners. This is Olaiwola Abdulrahman, Omani Ishaluwa, Tiwa Tolu Alashe, and Adesina Victor. So our project is all about organic manure, and we looked at the organic gardening, and we looked at the reason for doing an organic garden. So one of the reasons is chemicals. The things that chemicals do us on the land and on the food. And we saw erosion is also a part of it. Erosion spoils the land. So an organic garden is all about the use of the planting of crops without the use of chemicals. Here I'm going to give my colleague. So for where Amos was, he said our organic garden. We have seen the effect. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? We have seen the effect in the environment. So our purpose of planting creating an organic garden is that it causes erosion and also it nourishes the soil. So the first thing we did was that we cleared off our proposed land from inorganic materials such as broken bottles, plastic bottles, and cans, etc. And also, after clearing up the land, we tilled the land, but the land was too hard for us to till, so we had to hire external labor to till the land for us. And after this, more inorganic materials came to the surface, and so we have to pick it again. And this time, it was more voluminous than the first one. So we have to pick up big boulders, cans, trash, etc. After that, after tilling the land and picking the inorganic materials, we fenced our garden with metal, iron, and metal rods. After this, we paid a visit to the horticulturist in which we pick flowers and also vegetables we can plant. And after this, we feed the flowers because to attract pollination agents such as bees, birds, and butterflies. After this, we went to the abattoir to get compost manure, an abattoir where we kill goats and sell cows. So we went there to get our compost manure. So we mix it with our loamy soil and then make beds for our plants. After doing this, we planted our flowers and our vegetables. And so due to the season we were when we started this project, we were the dry season, so we have to work our early in the morning and late in the evening. So we come early to the school from 7 to 8 and leave by 5 to 6 in the evening. We do this for everything, and after 2 weeks, we discovered that there was progress in our planting. Can you hear me? Hello? We discovered there was progress in our planting. So after this, we discovered that there were dying plants, so we had to replace them with new ones, and also we weeded the garden and changed some vegetables in which they are fat at the spot. So after this, we still work the garden in the morning, but not as much as before because now we are in the rainy season. So this currently we are thinking about introducing a rabbit farm. So this is where we are in our project so far. Now we are planning to add or make a rabbit farm to our garden just to make an ideal ecosystem. Can you hear me? And we also read that the metabolic waste the rabbit releases out is also a good source of compost manure to our plants to make the land very fertile. Now we are planning to introduce biochar to our garden. My colleague will.
Good afternoon. Biochar is the charcoal made from biological waste. It is used to improve soil or used as a way of storing carbon rather than letting it into the atmosphere. Biochar can be gotten from the deep digging of the ground. It is It is filled with organic materials such as twigs, dry grass, wood, and some inorganic waste that are combustible and then set it on fire when trains are burned. Culture is also formed as a nutrient or derived from charcoal that has been proven to help the soil. It also helps to enrich the soil. It also helps to absorb also pollutants such as carbon dioxide. Culture is usually nutrient. Culture is usually nutritious, and culture can be gotten from the deep digging of the soil. Filled with butter has
So this is what we have done on our organic garden. We like to, and this is what we are going to do. I'm going to give my colleague to give the vote of thanks.
We want to thank ISNAD-Africa for giving us the opportunity to be on this program, environmental educational program, and also thanking Polytechnic and University of Milan for giving us more knowledge on sustainability development. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think, which other school do we have left out, please? Do you know that one? Juwala?
No, we exhausted all the schools already.
Okay. I think with that, over to you, Francesco. We're done with the schools. Do you have any questions for them?
Okay. Hello, guys. I have to say first that that was very, very impressive. Well, I thank you firstly for all the projects that you shared with us. We know that coming with ideas are very good, but also taking action is something that can lead us to reach to better conditions in this world, that I desire also a better world as you do. And I have to say to you guys that today the world is home to the largest generation of youth in whole history. Did you know that? So having young people like you that are engaged, that know about the sustainable goals, that care about their success and actively works towards their realization is something very inspiring. So I will think that definitely we shall see it together. We appreciate so much the ideas, the action that you are taking, and certainly this was as inspiring and beneficial for us as it was, I hope, for you. So we thank you very much for your time. And I would like everyone, if it is not too much to ask, to give an applause to yourselves, because we are really, really happy to meet you and to hear from you guys. So very well done. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have something to say as well?
Okay, particular questions? No, I don't have particular questions, but also big thanks. I mean, because it was really inspiring to see you guys all around these projects. As I told you the last intervention I did, I seemed this, but like in the individual participation. So it's really inspiring to see you as a community, as different communities, as different schools. And I don't know. I think for me also, as for you, Go, it's really inspiring. We will love to see that replicated in our home countries, and also, of course, in more schools in Nigeria and Africa as well. So thank you very much, guys. Really inspiring for us as well.
So maybe before I speak, I just give you a closing remark and appreciation, and then you can close up, okay? Great. So it's delightful and very great to have had you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes,
it's very good to have had you on the call and on the webinar today. Very special thanks, first of all, to the North American Association for Environmental Education in the United States and Wells Fargo's providing the funds, and also for supporting us at the African level to fund the project various schools that presented today. And by the way, we're also working on a project within the same program to use plastic bottles in Nigeria to build a public library in Nigeria. So that's on the way. Also, thanks to my colleague Joe, who has been managing all this, including all the associates. Some of them are on this course, some are not, in different countries actually. And also very special thanks to Polytechnic de Milano. And it's very impressive, it's very impressive that the students have done this project within COVID circumstance. It's not really, the circumstances are really very difficult. And thanks to the principal, who despite being in the shop, also created time to be part of the course. And thank you for making it. Right. I want to thank, on the other hand, the Polytechnic de Milano for coming to collaborate with us on this project. First of all, Professor Emanuela Colombo actually is my boss as well. Yeah. So, because I happen to be working for ISNAD Africa as executive director, while I'm also here as a PhD student. So, both ways. And also my colleague and friend, Tony, who will be speaking after me, Tony Francesco, who is speaking after me. In all, want to appreciate you all, want to appreciate all the coordinating teachers, appreciate all the students, appreciate teams from, colleagues from ISNAD Africa, and very, very especially again and again, the advisors who have been supporting these students for free. Some of them are in different part of the world, yeah. They've been supporting them for free. Yeah, thank you very much, and we're grateful. I'm aware that Christ, yeah. She's also on the course. Thank you very much for support. Yeah, and then let's go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you also from my side to all of you for participating, first of all. Then in particular, I want to thanks a lot my colleague and friend Ade, who put me in touch with your NGO and your program. And I want only to add that even very many kilometers last between us and you, we are sit together because of the same purpose, and I think this may be a seed for a change. Hopefully, we can work together for a better work. So thank you very much for this afternoon. Thank you very much for the sharing of your insightful experience, and I hope you can proceed with your project and have a lot of satisfaction from it and from your future life. So thank you very much again, and hope to see you again maybe in future events that can arise from this very nice collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Good. All right. Thank you very much. You can all.
They are seeing us. The sponsors are seeing us.
Bye-bye.